So as we approach the end of the semester here, I want to give you a few tools to put the finishing touches on your images. I know these tools, as I present them here, can be used to kind of clean up your images, but there certainly are many creative applications of the tools that I'm going to show you. So feel free to use your imagination and do whatever you see best with these tools. So let's go into Photoshop and take a look at this image. One of the first things I want you to do when you have an image is I want you to go in and do what is known as the lawnmower technique. And essentially this. To do this technique, you need to have your navigator up, and to get that navigator panel, you just go into Windows and Navigator. And then if you notice the little slider at the bottom of this window, you can increase or decrease the size of the view of what you're seeing on the screen. And so we want to look at our image really closely. So I'm actually going to zoom into where it says about 100% here in this window. And then I'm going to use my mouse and grab onto this little square here and put it in the upper right hand corner of my image. And I'm going to begin to sweep across my frame almost like I am mowing the lawn. So I'm going to sweep across in a pattern that goes like that, and then I'm going to move down one row and sweep across again, and then another row, sweep across again, and one final row. Again, looking very carefully at all the details of my image. So in that sweep, I discovered in this area right here a couple little spots. So just point to those. A little spot there, a little spot there, and a little spot there, and even one bigger spot here that I missed in my Photoshop raw conversion. So I missed getting rid of those spots, and when we are putting our portfolio together, we want to make sure that our images are presented in the best possible light. So spots like these we are going to get rid of using a variety of different tools in Photoshop. And before I introduce you to those tools, I want to just revisit last class and talk about this idea of working with layers in our images. And I want to use these layers to make these tool adjustments that I'm going to show you here. So for this technique, what we want to do is we want to create a second layer on top of our photograph. Now previously we had been making layers through this adjustment panel here. I'm actually, for this tutorial, going to ask you to create a new layer going under the menu up above here, so at the top of the screen. Pull down layer, and we are going to create a duplicate layer. And we can just call it retouch, like that. And then you'll notice that layer comes up as a layer on top of my original background layer. So it is essentially an exact copy of that background layer that then will make adjustments or retouches to. So that's the first thing I want you to do. Make a new duplicate layer that then we will go ahead and make some retouches in that layer.